What's up, everybody? ODC here, and I'm back with another action figure review. Today's review, we're going to take a look at the G.I. Joe Classifieds. This is the Classified series Sergeant Airborne, aka Franklin Talltree. One of my absolute favorite G.I. Joes of all time. The very first G.I. Joe I ever owned was this character, and I'm happy that I got him actually a little bit early than normal to do this review. I've got a bunch of different comparisons and stuff to show you guys with the older figures of him. I even did a custom figure of him. And then I'll do some comparisons with some other figures that kind of remind me of Airborne a little bit. Let me just adjust my camera a little bit here. There we go. And we can hang out with good old Junkyard right here. He's just hanging out, being a good boy in the background. Let me not put that there. As you can see, I did give him... Woodman, what's going on, bud? Thanks for... I'm glad you could join us. Or join me today. Let me back that up a little bit. Oh, there he goes. Hello. I should have known better. Just got this guy today in the mail, and I had to do it. I had to get on here, shoot this live while hopefully the quality is pretty good for everybody. It's not too fuzzy or anything like that. It should be okay. As you can see, I have him kind of outfitted with some other weaponry other than the stuff that he comes with, because I'm going to be honest with you, the stuff that he came with was kind of a point of contention with me. Not a big fan of the loadout for him with some of the stuff that he came with. But I digress. The figure itself, like I said, first appearance 1983, as far as the figure goes. Yeah, that's right, Woodman. Yeah, I couldn't help myself. Definitely was super excited to get... to do this review. And like I say, I got a bunch of comparisons and stuff like that, so stay tuned. We're going to kind of hang out how we do all these live reviews. It's kind of a little leisurely type thing to do. But yes, this is definitely one of my absolute favorite G.I. Joe characters, and I just am very happy to finally have him. Kind of weird that this guy dropped a little bit earlier than the rest of the wave that he's supposed to be a part of. I know Hasbro's on this thing of doing single releases for figures, which is, I don't know, I kind of do miss the days where the whole wave would come out. There's a part of me that does miss that, because you could just get the whole wave and it would all come at the same time if you wanted to, have that as an option. Now it's like you go to Big Bad Toy Store or wherever, and they don't even sell the whole wave anymore. It's just you have to buy individual figures, which is just kind of, I don't know, maybe it's a good thing for other people. I don't know. Personally, when you're kind of invested in a toy line, you just kind of want to get all of them all in one shot, and it makes it easier for you. But regardless, I'm happy to have him. If getting him early was due to him being sold separately from an entire wave, then I guess I'm happy with that. I'm still a pretty patient person, I like to think, but anyway, I digress. Obviously, you could see I gave him a different assault rifle than what he came with. I'm just not a big fan of the loadout he was given. I don't know who's in charge of these loadouts and what the thought process is behind them, but I don't know. It just never made any sense to me giving him a submachine gun. Just not a big fan of that. It's just my personal preference. You can, preferences will vary, but that's just mine. So there's that. The original Sergeant Airborne came with an M16 with a bayonet attached. So I just thought that this was a nice little modern upgrade. It's an AR-15 with a different modifications on it. There's I believe a laser, would be a rangefinder, I believe, a viewfinder. We also have a red dot and a silencer on it. So it is suppressed. Where when you compare, and also I got to say this about Hasbro guns, they seem to run very small. I know that gridiron guns usually run like a hair larger, But like this is like a pea shooter compared to like what an actual AR would be in reality. And I've shot AR-15s before, and they're lengthier than you think. And I've shot submachine guns before, and they are not nearly as small as this. I mean, there are some that are small, like you know, um, submachine guns out there that are smaller. I'm not saying that. I'm not taking away from any of that. But what I'm trying to state is that it's just a little weird that even the pistols, like, they run really teeny compared to like even just I gave him a 1911. It just seemed to fit the holster perfectly from Valaverse. And like when you compare this little dinky pea shooter, it's like almost like he's rolling around with a 22 in his holster to even just a Valaverse, not even a gridiron gun. Like, it's so small. It's so teeny. It looks like a little, like I said, a little pea shooter in his hand. I don't know if their molds are just getting smaller and smaller, but look at how tiny that gun looks. It almost looks like I don't know, like a P365 or something like that. Like if I snipped this suppressed tip off to hold the suppressor on, which is right here, which that's another weird thing, is that this suppressor is meant for, I think, the submachine gun, but you can use it for either the submachine gun or the pistol, which that wouldn't work in reality. So there's that. But you know, that's how that goes. So I'm just gonna kind of leave that there, and I'm just gonna not use this pistol. I almost, a part of me wants to just find some sort of like custom flashlight and put the flashlight in there. That would make a little bit more sense for him. Or another part of me just kind of wants to customize this and take this holster off entirely and just put a holster on there that I want. But I don't know. That's down the road. Anyway, I am going way off on a tangent here on just like stuff that I just not a big fan of. And I gotta say, the majority of the figure is very enjoyable. Like, this is a very well put together figure. Wait until I get to the head sculpt. I just think it's a couple pieces away from being a 10 out of 10. This, I just not a fan of. I wasn't a fan of Stalker, and he's like one of my all-time favorites. It's between him and Hawk that are my two favorite OG-13 characters. So, yeah, I wasn't a big fan of Stalker's loadout either. I felt like it was very dated, and I feel like this is very dated. And this is also reused from Firefly. I'm just not a big fan of it, so I don't like it. I don't have that's the thing, really quick. One last PSA, and then I'll move on to the actual figure and stuff like that, and I'll show you details and everything. One last PSA. I don't have a problem with mixing and matching, modern update with the classic design. That's beautiful. They've been doing a great job with that. The one thing I do want to have modernized is just modernize the weaponry, please. The pistols and the assault rifles, at least modernize them. I mean, these are like Cold War guns from like, they would be very I don't know. It's just not up to date, man. People are using red dots on pistols regularly now. Like, I mean, let's get with it a little bit. Anyway, the figure. I spoke about the weaponry. I'll probably talk about it a little bit more in accessories, but I'm not going to harp on it. Anyway, the head is awesome. You can fit both pair of goggles, clearly, as you can see here, comfortably inside the helmet and on top of the helmet. I think this is the only one that can actually do that. Not even Snow Job could accomplish this. So really kudos to whoever designed this, the functionality of the actual figure, because they did a really good job. And so I'm very proud of that. I'm just going to adjust my camera one more hair, just so my lighting's a little bit better. There we go. Just had to get a little bit closer, just a little bit. Anyway, like I said, the figure itself, you can take the goggles off the top of the helmet, and then you can replace them with this. Unfortunately, you can't. I don't think you can have the goggles on while this is on. I'll try and put the quad nods on here. I know you wouldn't have quad nods on with goggles underneath. I'm just trying to show you if you can fit bolt everything on him. And you pretty much can, actually. So that's quite nice. I mean, it's a little bit of a looser fit with the nods on. Let's put them the other way. Let's put them... I thought there was going to be a notch going the other way, so they would be... Because in reality, they'd be sitting up like this, but I think they want you to put them up like this, which that's another kind of annoying little pet peeve thing that I would have, is that the nods would never go like this. They would go like that. But, pet peeves, whatever. And I don't think that's a notch that you can use. Let's see if we can use that notch and just fake it. That looks ridiculous. It looks like there's a big thing coming out of his nod part. But anyway, it's a toy. I'm not gonna, like I said, I'm not gonna beat it up. It's a toy, but you can have both on there. I didn't actually think you could actually do that. And like I said, I just got this figure maybe around 1 o'clock today, so bear with me here. Actually, it might have been earlier. I might have got them around 11 o'clock this morning. But I didn't actually open them until about 1 o'clock. So taking the helmet off, and I'll get to all the accessories in the accessory department, but I wanted you guys to look at this head. This is one of the best classifieds heads that I have seen yet. Where they went so wrong on Falcon, they went oh so right on Mr. Franklin Taltree, and I am so thankful that they have got better with a lot of these the head sculpts going forward, but this really does grab that character and his Native American heritage, which I absolutely am a huge fan of. So if you guys know me, I have a lot of respect for Native American heritage. So I just wanted to kind of point that out. I actually have Native American family members, so yeah. Anyway, to say the least, but I also have family members that were in the military Airborne. So this is also another hit for me when it comes to, I think why I resonated with this character is that I had family members in World War II that were in the 101st Airborne. And I had my other family members that were in Vietnam. So this does resonate with me quite a bit, and I just kind of wanted to put that out there as to why I think I gravitated towards this, because I would hear stories when I was younger. Anyway, but then when I found out that Airborne, and figured it out when I was younger, that Airborne is essentially a paratrooper. He's a helicopter assault specialist, I believe, but he is a paratrooper when we get all down to it. So, but I'm really loving this look. I think they did a really good job with the blue. They didn't do it too much. They gave him just enough blue where it's not like obnoxious and standing out. They threw in some greens in there. It looks really good with the brown and then the tan, and everything is just really working well. So it's very well done. I'll just give you guys another really good look at this head sculpt. I just can't get enough of it. It's almost like the Spirit head sculpt for me too. They both just look absolutely fantastic. Same thing with the Shooter head sculpt. Another really good head sculpt. There's so many that are really good. I even think the Grunt head sculpt is a very good one as well. So, yeah, love it. Love the harness. We need more of these harnesses and such. I love it. We need more paratroopers. I'm hoping that we get Skydive soon from maybe a version of that. Skydive from Pursuit of Cobra would be absolutely fantastic. I would love that with the big, like, mechanical drifting wings and stuff like that. Oh, that would be awesome. He does have a knife and a front sheath, which is pointed the proper way. And this knife does fit in this sheath much better than the steel core 2-pack knives do. It's just a regular kind of knife. It's not really a K-bar. It almost kind of looks like a... And actually, I should almost take that back. I own a K-bar... Oh my god, just forgot the name. Tarok. Yes. A K-bar Tarok. I can't believe I forgot the name. And it almost kind of is similar to this, but maybe I'm just reaching a little bit. Like I said, he does have that sheath there. He's got a holster on the side. I'm going to remove that because that's technically not the gun that he comes with. Let's just remove all the guns that he does not come with, and I'll just show all the stuff that he does come with. And here's the Silencio for his side, if I can get that out. It's being a pain coming getting out of there. There we go. But really quick, figures articulation and everything, and then I'll go over the detail and everything. I mean, it's pretty simple when it comes to his articulation. The head can swivel at a full 360 rotation if you needed to. Not sure why you would want to, but if you want to snap his neck and kill him, you can. His head can look up about that far, so pretty good. Looking up, it is on a ball peg joint. Looking down that far, he can pivot side to side. Let's see if he's got some jive turkeys. Oh, yeah, we got some turkeys up in here. There you go, with some turkeys. He can tilt side to side as well. So really good range of motion in the head. Definitely a thumb up for that. Arms can go up about that. Arms can go up about that far. And he can T-joint. He can T-pose. T-joint. I don't know why I'm calling it T-joint. His arm can go full 360 rotation if he needed to. He does have butterfly joints. They're very limited and minimal, but they do exist and they are there. They do help a little bit with like looking down the sights and stuff like that. So they are helpful somewhat. He does have a bicep swivel. He does have double jointed elbows. He does have a swivel at the wrist. He does have a hinge joint, which is lateral on this side and vertical on this side. I'm guessing. Yes, it's vertical on this side. The problem is that the cuffs on the vertical side is very close to the hinge joint right here. So unfortunately, you can't get too much motion there with the hinge joint going down or up. It just wants to move just that much. That's it. It just kind of wiggles. He can crunch forward. I do have a little bit of a stress joint right there on the tack vest right there. But he can crunch a little bit. You can actually feel him crunching. And this is a much more pliable plastic than I'm used to with most of these tack vests from the Classifieds line. So pretty decently done as far as I can say. The harness is a separate piece, which is separated from the vest. Oh no, it actually is attached. I'm sorry. I thought this was going to be separated from here. That would have been interesting, but it does make sense at the end of the day. You want to be harnessed in, especially if you're shooting out from inside the helicopter. You want to be harnessed in anyway, or rappelling down. That's the point of the harness. So it's kind of tough to get him to swivel without almost breaking this little piece, these connector pieces right here, but he can swivel somewhat, so it is hindered due to that. But you can kind of gyrate him and twist him. Anyway, spending way too much time on articulation here. Legs can go forward. Legs can go back a little bit. He can do the splits nicely. He does have drop down hips. He does have upper thigh swivel. He does have a double jointed knee. He does have a boot swivel, which is nice. That's old school kind of G.I. Joe right there from, I want to say 25th anniversary right there. Well, not old school, but older. I guess not older school, but old school. Anyway, he can point the toe, he can point the heel, and he can also ankle pivot. And he's got 2 peg holes and a partridge in a pear tree. As far as reuse goes, now, a lot of people got confused. There's some people that are making claims that there's a lot of reuse here. There is some reuse. The arms are definitely reused from scrap iron. I don't think the torso is, but I have seen a very similar lower torso, so they could possibly be the same. But I know for a absolute flat fact that these legs are brand new. The pockets are bigger on this leg than scrap irons. The knee pads are different. The pockets up here on his thigh are different and they're larger. And it's an entirely different sculpt. And I think even the boots, and I'm going to double check. I'm going to grab scrap iron just to show you the differentiation between the two. But it is different. All right. Let me just grab him really quick. And then I'll show you. So scrap iron. The legs and knee pads are different. The boots are different. This is a different sculpt for the boots. And actually, a lot of people actually made this reference too, that they're the Snow Serpent ones. And no, they are not the Snow Serpent ones either, because I'll grab the Snow Serpent too, and then I'll show you. Let me grab one right here. There we go. All right, so let me see if the boots are the same here. The boots are different, and the pouches are not the same either. And the leg on the Snow Serpent is much thicker than the leg on Mr. Tall Tree here. As you can see here, let me get this off of him. Get this off of his head. Get off your head. All right, there we go. The leg is much fatter, and you can see that oh my God, stand still. The pouches are far different. You can see the pouch starts and ends here, where the pouch on him is much fatter and longer. The knees are entirely new. Like I said, they're different from these legs. They're not reusing this torso piece. Even the upper, where this pocket doesn't line up, and the legs are much skinnier on Airborne. Now, when discussing him, he's got no pockets up here. He's got pockets up here. The knee pads are entirely a different, this knee pad design's going lateral. These are going vertical. So totally different there. And then no pockets, and the boots are entirely different. So there's some new stuff on here. There's definitely some new stuff. And even the ankle joints are different, because he's got a fatter ankle where he's got the skinnier ankle. So these are new legs entirely. They didn't just throw some old shit together and say, here you go, you got Sergeant Airborne now. So that's nice. I like that. They did throw a lot of new stuff his way, which I can appreciate, because you don't want, I mean, as much as I like Parth Varma, he is a Frankenstein figure. And I do enjoy him, but I still know that he's a Frankenstein figure. And I don't mind, some reuse. Like, this is proper reuse right here. I think this makes sense for what he's got going on. I just got to say that there's some new stuff and kind of point that out. I like the little American flag kind of peeking out there on the chest too. That looks really good. Let me adjust a little bit more. There we go. So there's that. And let me know if you guys have any questions here. I don't know if you guys have been... Where did I order him from? Hasbro? No, I actually found him at my local Target. So I don't know if he had a street date or not, but he was at Target just chilling. So he showed up about a month early. So there's that. Some people actually, I think, were getting them off Amazon, and there was other people that were getting them off of eBay, I think. That's what I heard from other reviewers, that they got them early from eBay. Some people got them from Return of the Nerd, I think. He's on Instagram. If you want to check him out, you can. I'm not like sponsored or anything like that, but I just happened to actually go to a Target and actually found some. I was like, what the hell? It was the only one on the shelf. I think it was him and all the Python Patrol stuff, which is also on sale. So if you guys want to pick up any of those Python Patrol, I think the Trouble Bubble, per the date of this video, so be sure to check the date of this review. The Trouble Bubble is on sale for $25.99 right now. That's the Python Patrol one. And all the other Python Patrol, I think the two officers, one's going for $14.99, the other one's going for $11.99 right now. So be sure to check that out if you want to, like, army build or something. All I need now is a Dragonfly. I know, why don't you throw that in my face there, Brian? I'm just kidding, man. He says, Brian says, all I need is the dragonfly and a swamp skier for Zartan to complete the 84 Christmas. Right? Right? I know, right? Yeah, this guy's is as old as me. So he's the character's as old as I am. He's born 83. I was born 83. So we're all, 40-year-old babies, 41-year-old babies here. Well, maybe not some of you, but anyway, I digress. I'm just tangenting right here because I'm just enjoying this figure. I can't help myself. I just can't help it. But yeah, I'm definitely going to, I think, pull the trigger on a Dragonfly. I'm going to save up my monies, and I can't wait for this summer. And I know I'm going to end up spending a little bit more on it. I'm going to have to because it's buying from the secondary market. But my budget's $500, I think, for one, which I think if I can get one cheaper than that, that'd be a blessing. I would love that. But anyway, back to Airborne. So he does come with a reissued Duke's back, which actually the original figure did come with a reissued Duke's backpack. So not back, but backpack. So there's that to enjoy as far as factual information goes. They went with like a darker brown here. I actually like that, and at least they did paint the trench shovel a black color, so it's not all this big pile of brown UPS, brown. I'm probably going to go through here and paint some details black and just kind of liven it up a little bit. But I think this is pretty well done. I do like the sculpt of this backpack. It's one of the easier backpacks to actually keep pegged into the back, which is nice. So when you go and peg it into the back, it actually does want to stay for the most part. So shake test, it doesn't fall out. If I did that to Beachhead, his backpack would have went flying across the room. So there's that. I showed off the knife, and like I said, this kind of does look like the Tarok to me. It's a really nice knife. So if you guys want a really nice all-around, really good, like even shaving wood, cutting wood, whatever you need, check out the K-Bar Tarok. I actually got one about a month ago, which is pretty nice. So check those out. Those are fun. Not sponsored. Just enjoy fun stuff like that. He does come with this submachine gun, which it does have removable suppressor, which you can use, like I said, for the pistol or the submachine gun. It is reused from Firefly. You can remove the magazine as well. And that's about that. It fits in his hand, and like I said, it just looks off. I don't know. It just looks tiny to me. I mean, I guess it's not too bad, the fitment, but I don't know if I would want to be if I'm a freaking paratrooper and I want to drop in with a submachine gun. That's not my idea of, I don't know. I mean, I've seen some people with body armor take like 9 hits with 9mm, and it's just not good. Not good. And they'll just keep coming at you. So you want to put somebody down, you got to put somebody down, you know what I mean? Like you need some 5.56, 7.62. That's what you're going to need. Even 45, like you want stopping power. The whole point is to protect yourself, and you want to put yourself in the best position. And I don't think putting yourself with a submachine gun when you're trying to either extract somebody or if you're trying to lay down suppressing fire, whatever you're trying to do, this isn't really what you're going to want to go with. I'm just being honest here. Maybe it's not a big point of contention for other people. That's perfectly fine. But for me, not a fan. The suppressor, like I said, does fit onto the pistol. It's a little bit looser on the pistol, but it does fit. I'm not a fan of this big 2-for-1 deal here. I would have preferred just no suppressor for the pistol. I don't think you really need it. I'm trying to figure out what design of pistol this is. I'm trying to rack my brain with this one. I just think it's made up. I don't think this is really designed after any sort of real pistol. I don't know. Maybe an HK. I don't know. But I the classified line is not the best for, you know, actual real world looking pistols or firearms. So it's probably not the best to go off of. It does fit in his holster nicely, so there's that. And like I said, he can carry pretty much everything on him, so that's nice. The covered goggles for his jump goggles look really good. I would have preferred, maybe like a little bit of shading going on here, but I'm not expecting that too much from Hasbro, really. So I'm not going to beat them up for it because they just don't do stuff like that. I can just, I guess, do that on my own, which, technically I shouldn't have to, but I guess I just kind of used to at this point. The quad nods are really nice. They do have some paint right here, some reflective, like silver, blue, or blue metallic paint for the quad nods, which look really good. They are painted on the exterior side, but the interior side, there's no paint. So I can throw a little bit of silver in there. That's no big deal. Or maybe I'll just throw a little bit of like light blue. I think that would make sense. Next up, we've got the kind of metallic blue goggles, the exposed goggles for the outside of his face, or the outside of his face. I don't know what that means. The the over his eyes look is what I was trying to say. Didn't say it too well, but they are I want to say like a grayish color, and then that is painted blue, which is nice. Nothing painted on the inside, not a big deal there. That's just a nitpick, but they do fit over his eyes nicely, so you don't have to worry about that. And it's not really stretching anything out too bad, and it's a really nice tight fit. I want to say it's just as good as a fitment as Snow Job. So there you go with that. And they are different from Snow Jobs. Like I said, the majority of the accessories, including this, the quad nods, these goggles, the helmet is a different sculpt. A lot of people seem to think that it's the same helmet as Rock and Roll, where it's actually not. It is a different ACH helmet. So, but it looks pretty good. I like the helmet quite a bit. Like I said, there's the port for the nods right there. Looks really good. We got a little bit of brown paint right here for the strap, which looks nice. Well done. I might go ahead and I might shade this up a little bit just to give it a little bit more of a look to it, but looks good for the most part. And like I said, let's just gear him up again. And actually, let's gear him up without the with this on. We'll just put the quad nods on here. But if you just even want to just go with this the helmet itself, like that's not a bad look for him. It looks good. If you just want to keep that classic look, you could go with this, and then you could even give him, if you really want to go classic, you could give him all of this, right? And then you could give him a rifle from the Crimson Guard, and that would be probably the closest you will get to the actual original look for him. Maybe you would have to, if you wanted a more classic look for the helmet, you could go not so modern with this helmet, and you could maybe find a custom helmet through Gridiron or whatever if you wanted to, and go with that helmet if you wanted to, or another company. I don't know. Like I said, I'm not trying to hawk stuff for Gridiron. I'm not sponsored by them or anything, but on the side of his arm here, we have the insignia right here for Sergeant right there. There unfortunately is no official Airborne patch on him, which I might actually get one for him and put it on this side. It would have been nice to have that, but clearly they just don't want to do that. I don't know. And I don't know if the military can sue you for stuff like that. I don't know. I'd have to look into it. I don't want to make claims and then it's just not right. So, but anyway, I digress. I think everything on him looks really nice. I think, the overall package, I think, is well done. Let's gear him all the way up again, and then we'll do some comparisons with some stuff. I'm looking into Gridiron now. Okay, cool. Yeah, Brian, let me know, man. Let me know if there's a classic looking helmet on there. Because I'm definitely planning on getting multiples of this guy, and I want to have different looks for him, too. I'd like to have a modern look, a classic look for him, too. So this is one of those characters I don't mind buying multiples of, and just kind of going ham with different looks for them. And if you just want to buy one, you could do that too. They give you the options, the most options that they possibly can to really make everybody happy. I think there's people that want these to be more modern, and then there's people that want them to be more classic, and I feel like they finally found a decent middle ground. And I'm just going to outfit him with the stuff that I do like. I'm not going to give him that little pea shooter. I gave him this Valaverse, really nice 1911. I tried to fit some gridiron pistols in there in his holster. They just are too big. Gridiron stuff runs a little bit larger, but the Valaverse stuff fits in all Joe's stuff pretty well. Depending, each holster might vary, but this 45, I mean, it just wants to be in there. There's no falling out or anything like that. And like I said, I gave him this gridiron assault rifle, this AR-15 assault rifle. It does have a removable mag. I think I actually super glued it in there because I just didn't want it to fall out. But this was the rifle I was saving for him. I actually bought this, I think, about a month ago when they were having like a sale. And I just thought it fit the character well. Like, this is something that he would actually be using. So it just made more sense that way. All right, so let's get him standing up here. And then we'll get him standing back because he's the largest of the group that we're going to discuss this moment. So articulation, range of motion, everything I'm going to say is pretty on par with what I would expect from a newer action figure. I think everything is solid with what the Classified series has been giving us. So no issues there or anything like that. If I did have any issues, I would have pointed them out, but I'm just kind of reiterating. All right, so the first comparison we'll make is the original. I mean, you got to go OG, right? If you're going to go OG. Here is Franklin Tall Tree version 1. There we go. And, oh boy, I've got Dick Tracy figures attacking me right now. Oh my God. Oh my goodness. But there we go. Here is version 1. And as you can see, the comparisons between the two. Obviously, he's got a much more vibrant color to him. He's got a little bit of a bobblehead, he's got a little bobble going on there. He does have the removable helmet. Obviously, he didn't have quad nods. They didn't really exist back then. So he just got his paratrooper goggles right there. So the goggles clearly are meant to, nostalgia pull from this to that as far as design goes too. You can actually see he's got kind of like a turtleneck suit or a turtleneck shirt underneath, and he does have a turtleneck shirt a little bit right there. He does have the knife going across belly, which is nice, and then he does have a grenade, which is right there. He does even have I believe it's a pull chain right there for the parachute or whatever you wanted to imagine for it. Maybe it's just a carabiner so it can hold on to a line and he can rappel down. He does have his insignia right here on the inside of his bicep where he's got it on the shoulder here. So that's just something that's a little differentiation there for his rank. Pistol on the side of his leg, pistol on the side of his leg. He even got the lateral knee pads right. With the lateral knee pads. The only thing they did really change up, which I'm actually glad they did for the parasuit, or I'll just say the legs, is that he had exposed boots on the original, and he's got covered boots here, but I think it actually makes more sense to have the covered boots. I think it looks really good. So good on you, Hasbro. You even got the little harness right here, little brown harness. Great job. Moving around to the back, we've got the reused Duke, or actually, this would be Airborne's backpack and then reused for Duke later, where this is Duke's backpack reused for Airborne. So they reversed it, but it works. It does work. So harness on the back. He even has the lateral little elbow pads for the suit. So that works. I mean, everything on this dude is top notch, I'm telling you. Nothing on the other side. We've got some pockets on the side, some cargo pockets, no pockets on the legs. That's just a newer design, so I don't mind that. We've got the M16 with a bayonet. We've got a AR-15 with a Silencio and a little bit more modernized. So I think it's a nice touch. Head sculpts, great, very minimal for back then, 1983. And it's just crazy. Like, I feel like the older I get, the smaller these feel. These 3 3/4 inch Joes from the 80s. All right, next up, we're going to look at Mr. Franklin Talltree. This is the 25th anniversary figure, which is supposed to be a more modern, articulated version of the classic, which I think they did a really good job with this. This is one of my more favorite and much reused body from the 25th anniversary line. Some differentiation between the two and actually between the three of them. He does have now the insignia for his sergeant ranking on the side of his arm as opposed to the inside of his arm here, and now it's kind of gone to the upper portion. So it seems like the more modern we get, the higher up the more the insignia moves. But I know why it's here, obviously, because the hinge joint's right there. But we do have the cross draw belly chest kniff right there with the grenade, knife. We do have the harness right here. It's one of my favorite sculpts for a harness from the 25th anniversary. It looks really good. Sidearm pistol right there. Sidearm pistol. Brown. We're all making... Obviously, you can see... Oh, God, there he goes. Sorry, buddy. Let me get those nods back. Hold on a second. Dropping nods. Where'd you go? Where did you go? Oh. Where did you go? There they are. Okay. All right. Sorry. Little break between... Get those on there. Optics on there. There we go. All right. So, moving back. We've got the helmet, which is removable. You can remove that helmet to reveal this head sculpt. If I can get that off. There we go. And pretty good head sculpt. I think it's a nice little update rendition from the original. And obviously it's, this came out, 2008? Maybe it says, I can cheat and I see the 2007. Okay, it was part of the earliest of the 25th anniversary stuff, which does make sense because he was a year after the original 82 straight arms came out. So there's that. Display base, obviously no display base for him, but that's not the end of the world. But I did also like that they had a little microphone on here, which the original did not. And I did like that quite a bit. We do have the trench tool right here. Backpack right there. And it does look pretty good. So there's a nice little comparison with those two. And I got two more for you. Let's see if I can get this to focus properly. Woo! All right, so here's a custom one that I made. Now, technically, there is a third iteration of Sergeant Airborne in the 4-inch. I really didn't like that. It was, I think the reused body from... it came in a 3-pack. It was a part of, I think, Retaliation. It was a Retaliation 3-pack. He came with like a balaclava head. Or it wasn't even a balaclava. It was like a ski mask head with 2 eye holes. You couldn't see the face sculpt. It just didn't look good. It didn't. I liked, however, the parachuting harness that he came with. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to take pieces of that figure and I'm going to make what I really have always wanted to see in 4-inch form. This is my version of the Marauders version, I should say, of Mr. Franklin Talltree, Sergeant Airborne. I think the only thing I forgot to put on him, which that patch is supposed to be there for, was the ranking insignia for his arm. So I updated him a little bit here and there, kind of threw some parts here that I thought made sense as much as I could. little pieces right here, like the brown for the harness, and brown and black for the harness, which is fine. This is the rig piece for the parachuting backpack that I kind of threw on here from that Retaliation figure. So that's really the only thing that I reused from the Retaliation figure. The head is from Marauders World War II. I believe it's the Windtalker head. So it's a World War II Native American Windtalker head. The rifle is, if you gotta have somebody that's an assault trooper, you gotta have somebody with, it's gonna lay down some fire. So we've got, I believe it's an AR with a grenade launcher and two drums on there. So he's gonna mess you up. And I'm trying to think where these headsets are actually from the Retaliation Eagle Hawk, which is a redundant name. So I'm just gonna call it the what you call it? Oh my god, I can't even think of the name now. Oh my good lord. Tomahawk. There we go. Renamed it to the Eagle Hawk, which was just stupid, in my opinion, the name. But these headsets came with them, and I was like, oh, that fits perfectly. I mean, to me, it was always like 1 in 1. The Tomahawk always should have went with Airborne, to me, Sergeant Airborne. And not the Dragonfly. Well, the Dragonfly is great and cool, and you can still put him with the Dragonfly. To me, the Tomahawk A is my favorite G.I. Joe vehicle of all time. And B, I thought it fit him better because that's something you can rappel from. It's something that you can, maneuver easier as far as trying to get from the front of the chopper to the back. And I don't know, I just thought it made more sense to put him with the Tomahawk as opposed to the Dragonfly. I would still put him with the Dragonfly here and there. I don't have a problem with that. I think he's a great gunner, and you could drop him off if you needed to in a Dragonfly. He can, insurrect, whatever he's got to do. But those are the updates, customs, and that's kind of a action figure evolution, I guess, quotations. There's one more that I have. And this was one where I saw it and I immediately thought, that's gotta be a nod to Sergeant Airborne. And then when I asked, Bobby Valla, I was like, hey, Bobby, is Condor a throwback? Because here's a little tidbit for you guys. There's a Brazilian version of Sergeant Airborne, which I do own, called Condor. Codename Condor. Not Sergeant Airborne. Because it's the Brazilian version. And I was like, Condor comes out, and I'm like, dude's got a blue vest, tack vest. He kind of looks like Airborne a little bit in the face. And even, he's got the tan and everything, so I'm just going to go get him. I'm going to go get him. Let's get him. Here we go. Let's get that out of there. So I was like, I asked Bobby, I think this was 2021 at Joe Fest, and I'm like, is there any sort of, let me move him up. Is there any sort of nod from Condor to Sergeant Airborne? And he said, no, it's just coincidence. And I'm like, that's a lot of coincidence right there. Now, I know he's his own character and all that. He's also standing taller because he's on a figure stand. I know there's coincidences there, but I mean, when you look at him, and I actually threw a harness on him because I didn't know if we were going to get a Classifieds Airborne. And I was like, well, this can be both. This can be Condor and it can be Sergeant Airborne for me. And I can mix and match the both. But I had to spruce him up a little bit. I threw some gridiron stuff on him. I even gave him I can't help myself, keep putting double drums, which are not the most effective things. They do jam and stuff. It's not so good. But, But I asked him, I was like, hey, so there's a Brazilian version. I showed him, and he was like, oh, I didn't even know about that. And I was like, really? You didn't know about the Brazilian version about that? But I just thought it was a very high coincidence that this was not intentional, but yet it does kind of look like Sergeant Airborne a little bit. So I don't know. I think that's another reason why maybe I did gravitate towards Condor as a character, because of his initial design, and then, but learning how different he is, I enjoy him for his own reason. But I can enjoy him for two reasons, because, this kind of looks like if I were to build a updated version for Airborne, it might look something more like between this and this. This is between these two. So I still enjoy Condor for who he is, and Sergeant Airborne separately. And now that we have the classifieds version, which are separate, I can appreciate them for different things as well. Anyway, so those are all my comparisons. Let me just pan out here so you can see all of them. Ignore my custom over here. To move him out of the shot. He's been just hanging out the whole time. Hey guys, how's it going? And then here come some Cobra Troopers falling over. Anyway, so there are some comparisons for you guys. Let me try and no, I don't want to back off the lighting. It's getting a little fuzzy here from my end. I don't know how clear it is on your end. There we go. It's focusing really well on the 6-inch figures, and the 4-inch figures are getting fuzzy on my end. But anyway, I digress. But yeah, I would say, now let's get these guys out of the way. Move him, and we will move him, and we'll move this little guy too, and then we'll move him. And here we go. All right. So, how would I rank this G.I. Joe Classified Sergeant Airborne Mr. Franklin Talltree? No, I've been saying that name a lot this review, but I can't help myself. I would go ahead and let's get him. Let's rotate him a little bit. Let's get him a little exercising going on here. There we go. Where are my hands? Let's see what we got here. You know what? Where did all my hands go? For some reason, my hands keep disappearing. I usually always have my hands around. And now, oh, there they are. Okay. So I'm going to give him a big F you, and you suck, Hasbro. This is a terrible rendition. I'm just kidding. No. I'm going to give this an okay. It's just all right. It's nothing great. No, I'm just kidding. I'm going to give him a high 5. Okay? There's a high 5. And then when we get back to face value here, give him a high 5, and then we'll give him 2 thumbs up. I really like this figure a lot. There's some shortcomings. Like I said, the weaponry is not for me, but that mileage will vary. For most people, it won't be a point of contention. For me, it's just I just don't like it. And, you could always give them whatever you want. It doesn't have to be like, this is his loadout. You cannot go outside the box, So that's the best thing about toys. They're fun. You can do whatever you want with them. And, yeah. Let's see if we got another hand. Do we have another hand over here? We got more hands over here? Oh, yeah, we got dip. We got a rock on hand. He's getting the most hands out of anybody's hands. Ooh, it looks like he's been in battle, too, this hand right here. It's got, red all over it. All right, so you get some rock on hands, you get a high 5, and you get 2 thumbs up. I don't know how much you can rank anybody higher. This isn't just nostalgia speaking. I think this is actually a really well thought out, well processed figure. I would say the same thing about Rock and Roll. I would say the same thing about even Shooter. Even though there's some things about Shooter, like the weaponry, I just don't like. I think that's a really good figure. Same thing about Shadow Tracker. Even though there's, like I said, yet again, point of contention for me is the weaponry choice. I would say the same thing about Low Light, about Grunt. These are all very good figures. The Snow Serpents, Snow Job. I mean, my God, Snow Job probably one of the best, probably the best figure that they released last year. Even Mutton Junkyard, really good. He's a good boy. He's still down here. He's still panting, you know. But yeah, this is a lot of fun to do. I'm glad I could do this live and hang out with you guys. And Brian King says, I found a replacement gun for the Classifieds Gridiron GA0017BK 112 AR-15 M16 M4 with bayonet. Cool, man. That's nice. Yeah, go for it. Like I said, you can load them out however you want, you know. Thanks for the compliments on the customs. I'm glad you guys like the customs. That actually is an older custom that I did, I want to say a while ago on my channel. So it's not the first time that custom has appeared. Too bad the harness is no good for rappelling. No back seat support. Yeah, that's true. That is true. But, I mean, I guess I could use my imagination. Hey, Andy, what's going on, bro? What is up? Hello, hello. But yeah, I was just wrapping up on Sergeant Airborne here. He's really well done. Like I said, if you switch a couple things on his loadout, I'm going to try and find a torch for his for that front and kind of maybe customize that harness a little bit. And then paint that backpack, and maybe I'll do like an updated like shorts video of like updated stuff, some custom stuff I've done. I need to start doing more shorts. I've been wanting to do more shorts, so I got to get on that train and start doing that. I've been slacking, especially because I have a lot of even older customs that maybe some of you guys that are newer viewers haven't seen. So maybe I can go back in the vault and just show some of those. I even have custom Mythic Legions, custom Cosmic Legions, whole bunch of tons of custom stuff that I've done. So, and even like mix and mash, kit bash figures, like Gridiron stuff, and even like more Cosmic Mythic Legion stuff like that. I have custom Black Series stuff, older stuff that I haven't probably shown. So I got to get on that, man. I got to start doing that. And I might start doing some shorts with some of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle stuff that I get too. Stuff that maybe I don't want to spend a whole review on. I can just do a quick short, show you it, showcase it, and you guys can enjoy it still. So, but yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Like I said, I think he's a home run, 2 thumbs up. I would definitely recommend picking him up. I think he'll be worth the wait if you wait all the way until even April for him. And I think you'll really enjoy it. He's a solid, good figure. I think he might be the best figure in the wave, I want to say. As far as, well, I guess, you know, Torch does look pretty good. It's a pretty solid wave overall. Jinx looks really good. There's a lot of cool stuff just coming out this year. Can't wait for see what the next HasLab is going to be. That's going to be insane. If it's going to be a Rattler, I don't know. That's going to be really big, but I don't know. What do you guys think the next HasLab is going to be? Thanks, Benjamin. I appreciate that. Glad you enjoy the review. Just shot a chromed out Joe Silver Mirage if you're interested. Nice. Yeah, man. Show it on your channel so I can see it. Or post it on the Strident page. Because I'm on the Strident page. So, or you can post it on my Facebook. It's in the description if you want to. You can post it on there. But yeah, rumors, it'll be the Rattler. Yeah, that's what pretty much the rumors have been. I was kind of hoping maybe they would go a little bit more outside the box and just go Arctic, you know. They were heavily themed with Arctic last year, and I was kind of hoping that because they didn't do it last year with the Dragonfly, that they would have done it with maybe at least this year. But I was hoping for something Arctic themed this year. Maybe next year. I don't know. Who knows? I'm hoping we get a Mobat next year. I don't think we're going to get anything Joe side this year. Maybe they'll switch it up. Who knows? But I am hoping that we do get a Mobat. And I hope they modernize it and bring it up to date where it's not just a one-seater. Make it at least the Mobad a two-seater so you could fit two figures in there. You know, that would be sick. Yeah, absolutely. A HasLab Snowcat would be really fun. Maybe, yeah, equip him with Frostbite. That would be even better. I always loved Frostbite's huge, like, well, he had like an M4, I think it was, with a huge, like, infrared scope. Oh, you did post the video. Oh, okay. I'll have to check that out, Woodman. Yeah, I'll definitely check that out right after here. That's cool, man. What was I was just talking to Strident like just before I started the video, and he got a oh my god, what is wrong with me? My brain's not working now. That's my brain. That's my brain. Not even. I've never done a drug in my life. Uh, um, oh, what was it? The Marv. He got one of those like the Marvs that were, I think they were Kickstarter a few years ago. But he said they're pretty well done. I might have to pick one up. That would go really well with the, and he said the quality of plastic was really good, but that would go really well. The Marv would go really well with the what you call it, the Vanguard, and it would go well with the Vamps, which I actually got an update, a notification saying that I might be charged for my Vamp soon. So I don't know when that's going to happen. They don't really tell you a specific date as to when they're going to charge you. They just kind of tell you, hey, make sure your shits and ducks are in a row. Not shit in a row. That would be weird. But make sure your ducks are in a row so you can pay for your Vamp. I don't know. But as you can hear, you can probably hear in the background, there's dogs barking down there. We still have 3 puppies. I still have 1 puppy that needs to find a home. So if you've been with me for the last couple videos, you know that I'm dealing with puppy stuff. So, YouTube with the Vamp, yeah. So I definitely got the notification. What was that? I think it was on last Thursday, that hey, just so you know, this is going to ship soon, or you're going to be processed soon and then shipped. And I was like, okay. Originally it was supposed to come out until May, but all right, that's fine with me. I'll take it a month and a half early. You got the email too, Woodman? Yeah. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. I actually picked up 2, so I wanted to have 2 Vamps. I thought it was, worth the money with the driver and all the accessories and fun stuff it comes with. So it's going to be a fun year for some vehicles, man. We're getting the Dragonfly this year. We're getting the Vanguard this year. We're getting the Marv just came out, apparently. What else? The Vamps are coming out. I don't know if we're getting the other thing. Oh my god, the 4-wheeler. God damn it, I can't think of anything. I need to drink some water is what I need. Where's my bottle of water? I need a bottle of water. But anyway, there's a lot of vehicles coming out, regardless, this year. And it's going to be quite the year. I think, finally, some of these toy companies are going, like, okay, it doesn't matter. These people want big-ass vehicles, so let's just give them big-ass vehicles. They don't care, so let's just do it. And they're doing it anyway, which is nice. It's nice that secondary market... Well, I shouldn't say secondary market. Smaller companies are making vehicles and showing the larger companies that, hey, we don't care if we're a smaller company. We'll make 6-inch or 112 scale vehicles. We don't care. I think Bobby Vela is really helping us get good G.I. Joe figures. I think where you could kind of see where the beginning of this line was going, and a lot of people didn't like it. And then you can kind of see, like, I still have there's certain figures that are like, okay, you went too classic with this one. Where others, I'm like, okay, you livened it up a little bit, and you're also giving us characters. Like, I never thought we would get a Shadow Tracker. I just, if you would have told me we were going to get a Shadow Tracker before Airborne, I would have told you you're absolutely nuts. Um, at the beginning of the line, but we're getting cool stuff, and I think a lot of that has to do with thanks need to go to Bobby Valla for pushing them and forcing them to do better. Competition makes you better. It always does. In any sport, and I've played many sports in my day, any sport, competition makes you want to work harder, do better, be better. When you don't have that competition, like look at pro wrestling for the longest time. I know a lot of you aren't wrestling fans, but long story short, WWE did not have a lot of competition after they bought up WCW. They got bland and stale for like 10 years, 15 years. And finally, they started getting a resurgence with, other companies popping up and smaller companies even getting bigger budgets and being able to do more. So there's always competition is good in this country. We need competition. You don't want to have a monopoly over something. It's not good for anybody. Did I get any of the Hayatoy G.I. Joes? No, I didn't, because the reason why I have a ton of Joy Toy figures, a ton, and I should probably show you guys my Joy Toy collection sometime once I finally get this room in rightful order. I don't know, like they just look like classifieds figures that are like 30 or 40 bucks, and they're 4 inches, I think. Yeah, they're like 4 inches officially. They just look like they kind of copy the classifieds line, and they're in 4-inch, which is great. But I don't want to spend the amount of money that I would spend on a classifieds figure on a 4-inch figure that's essentially the same thing. It just kind of seems a little redundant to me, but that's just me. That's just me. But it would be nice, to get, if I could get some of my favorite characters with that updated look in 4-inch, that'd be great. Because that would be the equivalent of this guy for me. And I love this figure. But it's still a custom, It is still a custom, which I do enjoy a lot, but that's what it is. It's just a custom. It's meaningful to me and not to really anybody else. But yeah, it would be cool. Like I said, the price for me is really turning me off with that. And then there's so many other companies that, like, between all the Turtle stuff coming out with Super 7 that I'm knee deep in, and then the Classifieds line, and then the Valaverse line, and then, there's a lot of other stuff. While I've dropped the Black Series line entirely after getting Malgus, and I've dropped Transformers entirely. As of last year, I did. And even I had to start saying no to McFarlane because McFarlane's going crazy with his prices. I was like, yeah, I'm done. I'm good. There's Jada Toys with their Street Fighter line. There's so many lines out there. It's like overwhelming, But still fun nonetheless. You've got a lot to choose from. This is one of the best times to be alive for toys, if you're into toys. It really is. I don't think there's another time that was any better than what you're getting right now. So definitely the peak era for toys, I would say. I'm going to stop doing that in case somebody's getting motion sickness or something. We'll put our high five over here. We'll switch everybody around. Then we're going to say goodbye. We're going to say goodbye for the day, guys. But yeah, this is a really fun figure. I'm glad I got to share this with all of you. And this won't be the last of live reviews. I always love doing them. I love hanging out with you guys, talking with you guys. I know they end up being longer videos, but I don't mind. And hopefully you guys don't mind either. I'll also be doing edited reviews. It's just, it takes like 4 to 5 hours for me to get an edited review done. So it's kind of a thing. If I rush a review, you'll notice, and then I just don't want it to look like crap. So, yeah, I stopped Joy Toy for a bit. Just picked up some of the $20 basic figures. Not too bad. Yeah, that's what I did. I had some Joy Toy figures. I actually wanted to turn one of these guys into Sergeant Airborne because I love the bodies. I wanted to use one of these bodies, but then again, it's like I don't want to take a Joy Toy figure and ruin it. They're just so good. They're so well sculpted, detailed. Like there's paint shading going throughout this entire body. If you don't even notice it, like the shading, like all throughout the leg and everything, I don't know. But I was going to use this body for a Sergeant Airborne, one of the bodies that came in this pack. So if you're looking for a base body, this is one to really go off of. I mean, even the colors and everything look great. So there's that if you wanted to do that. So, but yeah, this was a lot of fun. I hope you guys enjoyed. I'll try and start doing these earlier reviews. I know I tend to do later live stuff. It's just because my work hours and weird stuff. So, but anyway, yeah, I definitely stopped Joy Toy for a hot minute. So, just got a little bit too expensive, for me. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this review. Be sure to like and comment. And I know I hate saying that stuff to tell you guys to do that. We're all grown-ups here. But, it does help the channel. So I do have to bring it up. So if you can like the video, that does help. If you can subscribe, hey, and you enjoy the content, you want to see more, just please subscribe. And I do have membership. So if you guys want to join the member and, help the channel grow even more, you can if you want to. If not, that's cool too. Not telling you have to or anything like that. But yeah, be sure to leave a comment if you're watching this on playback. Thank you to everybody who showed up live. Thank you to to Woodman, to Benjamin Bentley, to Andy, as always, bro, OG Triple, and Brian King. Thank you, bro. Appreciate you. Thanks for hanging out, man. I appreciate it. And yeah, thank you to everybody who's just even lurking. Thank you. You don't even have to say anything. Thanks just for hanging out and watching the video. I appreciate you all. Have a great day. Enjoy yourselves. Life is short. And I'll see you guys on the flip side.